Hi everyone, I'm Karen Combs and welcome to FlossTube 20. Yes, it is 20. Last time we had some discrepancy because I have two 18s, but this is 20. It's just crazy. This is FlossTube 20 and this is my channel for quilting tips, quilting information, stitching, which is my FlossTube playlist, and this is about stitching. So this is my FlossTube number 20. Okay, I've said that 3 times, so let's move on. I have been getting stuff ready for like 2 hours and it is just covered around here. It's crazy. So we'll just get right into it because I have a lot to share. I have just returned from the Hobby House retreat. My Life's a Sampler with Vicki from Needlework Press and Tanya from the Scarlet House. Fantastic. In fact, in the opening of this video, it's a little longer than normal because I put some of the pictures in there from the retreat and also some of the pictures of my table group and some of the friends new friends I've met, some friends I've met before. It was just a wonderful weekend. So before we talk about Hobby House, I want to thank you for your comments on the last video. And thank you for all your likes, just those thumbs up. Thank you for that. I appreciate it so much. Last video I had asked, what if I don't have that much to show? And do you care? And several of your comments, actually, it's a good thing I didn't have drinking coffee, because I would have spit it everywhere. I think one of them said, I don't care if you put 2 stitches in, I'd like to see it. So, okay. Hopefully I get more than 2 stitches between 2 or 3 weeks, but I will show you what I'm working on. And thank you again for all the comments, and thank you for the new subscribers too. I just appreciate it so much. I think we're up to 3,500 almost. If you haven't subscribed, please click that little subscribe button. And I'm thinking about doing something special if we get to 4,000. Stay tuned for that. But we did have a question. I'm checking my notes here. Lorraine had she found a hoop, a vintage hoop, wooden, at an antique store and wondered if she should wrap it. Now, that's a personal choice. Talking to people, some people wrap regardless because they like that it doesn't crush the stitches. That's just your choice. But here's my thought on it. I have several vintage hoops. One of them is quite loose. So I wrap it because it doesn't hold very well until there's more stitches in the piece, and then it holds fine. So that's one of those hoops that I'm either going to wrap and use at the beginning or leave it as it is, and then as stitching takes up some space, then it fits just fine. Also, if the hoop is rough at all, if it's vintage and it has a little rough spot, I would wrap it. So that's something that is personal choice. You can wrap, you don't have to. I've seen people do both. So give it a try. You might want to wrap, or you might try it and say, not for me. So that's kind of a personal choice answer on that, but some reasons why I might consider wrapping a hoop. And let me show you, let's go to projects and then we'll talk about Hobby House. So I do have some progress on, and I have a new start too. Now, what I don't think you can see it, it's out of frame, but I have a chair. Normally I have a chair stacked with everything I'm going to show you. This is a 2-chair video. So we'll see how long it goes. So I do have some progress on the Laura Standish sampler. So that's what the box top looks like. It's a long one. So I think I'm on 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. And if you're not sure about the Laura Standish sampler and wonder what it's about, go to FlossTube 19. I show you in depth about it, but it is America's oldest known sampler. So I have gotten down to the band. that is like, show it already. I've gotten down to the band that's got several colors in it, and I'm going to hold it up here so you can see it. Now, yes, I do have some threads, but that's because I'm alternating colors, and I'm pulling it to the front so I don't get it tangled on the back. Oh, let me move that needle minder over so you can see the stitching. I did have a comment about making sure I hold things long enough so you can see. Now, the first band is the stand stitch, which is actually quite fun once you get going. And I just did a little practice on the on a little scrap piece of linen, and then I was able to get the rhythm of it and just go ahead and stitch it. That is automatically reversed. The second band, how do I phrase this? I did it mostly in reverse. Let's just say it like that. The third band is long arm cross stitch, so that automatically will be in reverse. The fourth band I did do in reverse, and I am doing the fifth band, the one I'm working on now, in reverse. So let me turn it around so you can see. Sorry, I've got a little bit of allergies going on here. What do I got to do there? Oh, I got to weave that end in. It's like, what is that? So you can see there it is in reverse. So I'm going to just take a sip. Sorry about that. Allergies. Everybody here has allergies. Right now it's been so dry. May have to get a cough drop and stop and get that. Now on the Laura Standish, when you get the package, there are a lot of papers in there. I think I'm going to cough again. Let me come back. Sorry about that. Got a cough drop. So hopefully it's talking. Just aggravates, you know, that tickle in your throat. So what I was saying, the instructions, wonderful for the Laura Standish sampler. So what I did is I read through the main instructions so I could get the basting, you can see there, set up. And then I pulled the information, the diagrams, just for the band I was working on. Pulled the floss, and that way I didn't look at all of it and just get overwhelmed. And I'm just, for the reverse on band 5, I'm just following the numbers for the stitching, doing each color, moving to the next one. You can see I've got the bottom, which is 2 colors. So as I mentioned in episode 19, I was a little nervous about it, but following the instructions, they're fantastic. I know some of you mentioned in your comments last time that you had the privilege of taking a class or several classes from Joanne Harvey, who did an amazing job writing the instructions. I think it was 5 years that she studied this sampler. So it's fantastic instructions. So I wouldn't hesitate to get any of her charts and instructions and kits. They're wonderful. So I did work on Laura Standish. I don't even know where I'm going to put all this. I just set it over there. I did work quite a bit on Live on Little. I have so much stuff here, it's stuck. This is the project bag I've been putting it in. This is one I made with some of the fabric I designed a few years ago called Midnight Blue. So I thought that was perfect for the Live on Little. I'm going to see if I can show this without reflection. There we go. So that's a good retreat or sitting and talking project because there's a lot of fill-in. So I did get the roof done. I got some more mortar done. I've worked on the border. I've gotten some more of the grass done. Let me hold it back and then I'll come forward. I did, if you look at the bottom there, there is a, let me go back to the chart, there's a mermaid. I didn't want the mermaid. Can you see it there? So I've Not sure if I'm going to leave it in yet. I'm debating. I put a mariner's compass down there. All right, let me hold it back, then I'll come close. There we go. So did some more of the border. I've got to add some more doves or ducks or whatever kind of birds there up on the top, and I need to do the border over here. Let me wind it up. I did work on the house quite a bit. Got the roof done, working on the mortar. Got a little bit of grass to do there. I mentioned last time that I did change the sailboat to reflect my father's little sailboat that he had when they lived in Traverse City. Lived there about 25 years. He's been gone 20 years now. Hard to believe. But this is Live on Little. Really enjoying this stitch. For me, it's a good summery stitch, and I may let it take a nap for a little while. Not in timeout. But it just reminds me of the summers we spent with our parents up in northern Michigan. So I might just work on that again next summer. I'm not sure. It's probably 3/4 done, I think. But I did work on that quite a bit. Of course, with my stitching group that we meet once a month, that's a good one to bring because it's fill-in. So I may work on that. Also, I think I put in some stitches since last time. The Hannah Smith 1802 showed this last time. This is the case it comes in. And I'm using 2 colors, Pea Pod and Cappuccino. There. So this one, I did put in some of the Cappuccino, which I like. I think I've got the first page done. This is on 36 count Dirty Teacup. Live on Little was on 40 count Maritime White. But here we go. So got that motif done. Okay, hold on. I get it where you can see. So I'm working on that. So I did leave the needle in. I didn't want to take it out from where I was working. So I think I've got the first page done and I'm moving down to the second. And I do like how that Dirty Teacup looks on that. So I'll keep working on that for Sampler September. And this is the project bag for that. I do have a new start. I wasn't going to do a new start, and then I decided to. I just did. Because I thought, well, this keeps taunting me, and I purchased the kit for this from the Attic back last summer. And it is Sampler Roll by Samplers Remembered. I love the little houses. And I don't know if I'll make it a roll or if I'll frame it, or I'm not sure. But I did ask them for the silk conversion, and they had one. So I'm going to hold that up. Let's see if I can put it against here. It's charted for weeks, but I wanted to do it in silk. There we go. There's the silks. Look at this. It's hiding. This bittersweet color. Look at that. Oh, it's still hiding. Come on. Come out of there. All right. Let's do it like this. There we go. And that looks really pretty, actually. This is on 40 count Confederate Gray and the silk conversion from the Attic. And I'm just started this yesterday. I do have a lot of threads because it's got 4 different colors, and so I'm kind of parking the colors off to the side here as I'm working. But here it is. These sweet little houses. How cute are those? So just have a start. I'll probably work on this a little bit more before I go back to some of the other things. kind of alternate, but I did want to get a start on this because I just have loved those little houses ever since. I think I saw it on one of the Attic's videos, FlossTubes, and just fell in love and called them immediately and said, do you still have it? And they did. I said, do you have the silk conversion? And they did, and they had the Confederate gray. Now, this was last summer, but they still may be able to do a silk conversion and have, I don't know if they have the Confederate gray, but they might have something similar. So that is the new start. Okay, put that down over there. So did that. I mean, I guess I should just look at all the stuff I have around me. But let me show you. Should we talk about Hobby House or should I? Let's do that because all of this relates to Hobby House, and then I do have a little bit of haul to show it. I did not grab that silk, the linen. Got everything ready but that. Well, I was going to hold up a piece of vintage country mocha next to the linen I purchased, and I didn't grab it. Well, we'll see how it looks. So let's go to the Hobby House retreat. And it started Friday evening. I have to get my dates right. I got there Thursday and went straight to the attic, straight to Hobby House. And actually, maybe I'll show what I purchased at Hobby House before I show what we got at the retreat. And I have it all right here if I can do it without it all falling. Now, you remember I said I was going to be very thoughtful on what I purchased, and I was. Oh, it's all crinkly. I mostly purchased linen. I bought one chart, and the rest I bought linen. So as you walk in Hobby House, to the right, there's some shelves with linen. So I went straight there, and then upstairs they had quite a bit of fox and rabbit. So I went up linen, so I went up there too. Now the linen I was mostly looking for was 40 count. And I did get several of fox and rabbit. I'm gonna put those together. And I did get one piece of 46. Okay, let me show you not the fox and rabbit first. My friend Cindy, I ran into her and Mary Lou and Belinda immediately when I walked into Hobby House. And Cindy was getting, there was a yard of old sheep, 40 count by XJU Design. And she was getting it cut into a fat half. I said, I'll take the other piece. So this is old sheep. And this is probably very similar to Vintage Country Mocha, that color. So if you're trying to think of color-wise, it's very similar. I'm going to keep, let me get rid of the crinkle bags. I'm going to keep that out so I can then compare and show you. Sorry about the crinkles. Then I got a piece of WIPS Dye Works linen. That's the color, linen, because it's just a good neutral. So let me hold up the old sheep next to it so you can see. It's lighter. It's just, think of linen. That's it. It's just a linen color. I think everything else I got were fat quarters. Then I did get a piece of 40 count, just the ticket. I do have a piece of 46 that I'm using. What am I using that on? Sarah Millthroat. So I think, no, I don't think I'm using that. I don't remember. I'm using it on something. So I wanted to get another piece. So let's put that with the old sheep. You can see just the ticket's a little more golden, creamy, maybe buttery color. And this is a new dyer to me. It may not be to you. It is Grace Notes. I've seen them mentioned, but never had the opportunity to purchase any. So I'm happy with this. This is Molly linen. This is 40 count. Again, just, oh, it's so pretty. Let me put it next to the old sheep. can see it's light. Let me put it next to the WIPS linen too, linen color, because they are different. Even though it's like, they're both light. Well, they are, but they're different. Sorry. Okay. I can get my fingers on it. There we go. So you can see. This is the linen. And then the Grace Notes next to it. Okay, so then I got a few pieces of Fox and Rabbit. I got white clay in 40 count. Let me put it next to the old sheep. You can see it's just a good neutral. Let me put it next to that linen color too. The linen is just a little darker. They're really similar. They're just a little darker. So if you could get the WIPS linen and you couldn't get the white clay, I think I said baked clay, it's white clay. Might be a good substitute. I also got the white clay in 46. Now sometimes there's a color difference between the counts. These are pretty close. But you can see there's a little difference. So I have a few pieces of 46, so I wanted to get that in 46, just a good neutral. And then the other piece I got, oh, I have two more to show you. I got Ballet Slipper, which I'd always thought it's too pink when I look at it online. It really isn't pink. Let me just show you. It's a beautiful piece. Let me put it next to the old sheep. It just has a rose, not even a tint, just a little bit of rose in the background. So got that. And then this color, which I think they're going to be offering online. This is 40, I'd got 40 count Inca, and this is something that is exclusive, I believe, to Hobby House. This is a new color, Inca, kind of goldish. Hopefully you can't hear the phone ringing. I have the ringer off in my office, which is right over there. And it's usually spam, so I'm ignoring it. So that is the Inca, just kind of a golden, not golden, just has kind of a warm look to it. So those are the linen pieces that I bought. And I was very thoughtful about what I was getting, what I had, what I liked at home, and what I needed more of or what I didn't have. And then I picked this up twice, laid it down, and finally went back and got this. This is exclusive to Hobby House. And this was last year a kit, an exclusive kit that was offered through the Facebook group. Was it Homespun? Can't remember the exact name, but Julie does a wonderful job of putting together the exclusive kits. And now it's released to general public, but you still need to get it through Hobby House. It is Ann Kirby, 1845. So there it is. And I just love that big yellow house. I didn't get linen for it because obviously I just got some linen. And it does call for different silks. It also has classic color works, but I went ahead and ordered a silk pack from Vicki Clayton, which has not come in yet. So that's the chart that I purchased. And I did purchase one other thing when I was there. One of the ladies at our table, Georgia, who was just delightful to be with, she had the Winthrop case. And we all enjoyed looking at it. And then she pulled out a tape measure that matched perfectly. And it says Hobby House. And I saw those at the cash register and I did not pick it up. So she had it and I said, can I try it? It just feels wonderful. Comes out, just click it back. It's it matches perfectly any red case that you have, so I went ahead. Those were the two things I went back to Hobby House for. So I just went twice. I went on Thursday, got the linen, and then did get and Kirby and the little tape measure. I think these are available on their website. They come in couple different colors. So that is what I got at Hobby House. I've got a little bit of other haul. Let me go ahead and show that, and then I'll show the, we'll just do the retreat. Yeah, let's do that, because then I've got all the retreat stuff and the other things to show you. So the only things that I pre-ordered from Market, this I think was an exclusive, and now it's available for the general public. This is Sampler for All Seasons. And I had seen that, didn't realize it was an exclusive, and thought, why can't I find that? Well, then it came available, so I purchased that. And then I got this from Carriage House Samplings. This is Sampler of the Sea, and I thought, well, this might be a good go with for the Live on Little, if I want to put them together. So got that. Put those over there. And then I can't remember who showed this. I fell in love with it. It is the Little House Needleworks Early Americans, and there are 9. So, Betsy Ross. I ordered the whole set from Fat Quarter Shop. Which one's that? John Hancock. Rather than try to find them separately, I just went ahead and ordered the whole set. This is Martha Washington. This is Nathan Hale. So I think whoever had this, oh, I wish I could remember. I should have written it down. They did it as one whole piece, and it was wonderful. This is called Freedom. I'm racking my brain to think who it was. If you know, or if you remember seeing that, put it in the comments. This is Paul Revere. Here's number 7. This is Abigail Adams. Of course, I love the little houses, so that's a nice little house on each one. This is Patrick Henry. And the last one is Molly Pitcher. So did get that. Did not get linen or floss, what's it called for? Classic Colorworks or DMC. So I thought I can get that later. I can get the linen later. I wanted to get the charts while I could get them all together. I did get that. And then I'm a member of the club Dying to Stitch. Cannot remember what the name of the club is, but we did get the new club piece. This is by Hobby House. This is called Pollyanna. It's a pin keep and a small. So that came while I was gone. And it does have the linen and all the floss for it. So it's nice to have a nice complete kit. This may be from the sampler that different things have been pulled out of, and then the sampler will be released later. And let's see, I have some little things here. Where's that other stuff? There it is. I guess I have more things than I thought. How did that happen? When I ordered from the Fat Quarter Shop, I had a couple other things that I went ahead and got. I was talking with Lori at Tudor Rose Sampler Guild, and she mentioned that she has been using these needles, which were new to me. So I got a 28 and a 26 to try. EdMar, I'm gonna hold it up, is the name. Let's see what I can, let's see, what can I put behind it? Let me try this. Let's see. There, EdMar. Well, that wasn't very good. Sorry. There we go. So 26. And this is what the needles look like. She really enjoyed using those, so I thought, well, let me get some of those because I don't know where else I can get them. So I did get those, and then I also had in my cart that I thought, this was shown to me by Belinda when I was at the Homespun Gathering meeting with Nicola in Clarksville, Tennessee back in May. And Belinda showed me this. It's called the Unstitcher. I started to open it, but I'll show you a close-up. And it's like the Stitcher's Best Friend I showed you, but it's smaller. So it's just something you can unpick with. So I did get that, 'cause that was in my, I want to make sure to get that list. And I saw this, yes, I did get one more thing. Saw this at Hobby House, and of course when I went back to get it, they were out. So I did order this, and it just came in. Ann Chilton, 1847. They had the model there. It was so cute, so little, so pretty. And I did go ahead and get some, what is this? Linen. Vellum, Newcastle. 40 count. Yeah, 40 count. And did go ahead and get the DMCs for that. There we go. So did go ahead, and that's all kitted there. So that's the chart again. It's by the Scarlet House. You know, I have this little rule for myself, and I didn't follow it, and I should have. If I pick something up a couple of times when I'm at a shop, just get it, because then I went back and it was gone. So I should have listened to myself with that little rule. Okay, so we'll get doing the, get this stuff back organized here. Oh, don't fall on the floor, it just did. Seriously. The main thing I want to show you just fell on the floor. All right, so let me show you some other things, and then I'll come back to that. I'm thinking I'll just stop the video and reorganize. Let me just do that. I'll be right back. It won't be but a second for you, but I'll reorganize. Be right back. All right, reorganized, picked the stuff up that fell on the floor. So Hobby House, the retreat started Friday evening. And Friday, now Thursday, I think Thursday I went to Hobby House. And then by the time I checked in and unpacked and then had a lovely dinner with Cindy, and I'm trying to think that we had a whole group. Mary Lou, Belinda, I can't even remember everyone that was there. Anyway, we had a lovely dinner. So by the time I got done with that, Thursday was gone. Friday, I did not go back to Hobby House because I know you got the linen that you wanted, but I did need some knitting needles, and I'm going to divert for just 1 second because I do enjoy knitting, and I just want to share something that if you're a knitter, I wish I'd known this ahead of time. I am going to start the Weekender Light. There we go, Weekender Light pattern. Who's it? I know it's everywhere. And I did a swatch to test, and my gauge was on point, so I was good. And I'm using this yarn, which is 30% silk, 70 wool, Holst Garn in the surf color. So I have it all ready and looked at the pattern, and there is actually an excellent tutorial for the Weekender sweater, which I need to look that up and put that on in the description. So if you're a knitter and you're thinking of doing that sweater, it's an excellent stitch along tutorial. Let me write that down. So as I got started, the cast on was a cast on I was not familiar with, where you cast on some scrap yarn and yarn over, and I'm not going to go into all that, but it's a very clever way to do it. Except I needed to have 2 sizes smaller needle than I did. Now I was stitching with a 4, US 4, I think that's correct. Whatever the pattern called for, I was spot on gauge, so it was that. So I needed to go down 2 sizes. So I needed a size 2. And all I had was a size 2 cable needle. It was a nightmare. The cable was too tight. So if you're a knitter, don't do that. I worked for hours, and then I just thought, oh, I've lost my knitting ability. I can't do it. No, I had the wrong tool. So on Friday morning, I went over to Fairport. I believe that's the name, Fairport. And I had asked when I was at Hobby House if they knew where a good knitting store was. So if you're going to Hobby House and you're a knitter, and we are going to get back around to cross stitch because one of the things I bought there is going to be perfect for knitting and cross stitching. The shop that I went to is Lift Bridge, because it's right next to a drawbridge, Lift Bridge Yarns. And I was able to get the straight needles that I need. So now I can go ahead and cast on. So I'm good with that. But the reason I'm showing you that is because while I was there, I saw something that I went ahead and purchased because it's going to be very helpful for cross stitch. Now when I sit and stitch, a lot of times I'm sitting right here because my TV is right over there. I have good light with a big window right there. It's actually my sewing table because my sewing machine is just next to me, but I have a big open space and I sit and I stitch because it's just kind of perfect. And this is what a lot of times I will use. This is from sitting at the computer in the office working years. It's just something you can put something on. Let me see if I can, as you're looking. So that's fine, but it is pretty bulky and pretty big. So I know I showed a stand that I use for knitting, but they have a new one, and it's by CocoKnits, and I'll put this in the description. Because if you're a knitter, it's going to work. If you're a cross stitcher and want something to put your chart on, it comes in this nice bag. This is actually paper. It looks like leather. It's paper. And it's magnetized. So when you open it up, here it is, and you can set it like that. It comes with magnets, as you can see here. And the best, well, not the best part, but one of the very fun parts about it is, let me see if I can show you. They have things that go with it. So here are some snips that just attach with the magnet. They have markers, stitch markers that are magnetized that will fit right on here. I'm not going to take those out. And they have a ruler set that you can just attach. So you could have your chart, you could have your snips, you could have everything right there. And it's very lightweight. It's lighter than the other one I have. So my friend Cheryl mentioned that she has it, and I saw it at the shop and went ahead and got it. So I wanted to mention that because if you're a knitter, it's great. If you're a cross stitcher and want to put your chart on something, especially with the ruler, if you want to hold it or mark it, something like that, you can. So just like, can you see that? Yeah. All right, let me set that aside. So that was Friday, and then we had Friday night. Now we'll get into, so I do have, besides everything that we got, I do have some other things to show, but it's all here, so should be okay as far as what I'm showing you. So when we started at, I think we started with 5. I think we had dinner. And then we had our first lecture. And the project that we got, this is so cute. This is a little pillow. It says, home is where my samplers are. And here it is. And it has everything in there. The 103s, the linen, the trim. Several people actually started it that night. But the 103s, Tanya said, keep it handy because you're going to need those 103s for something else. And then the other thing that we got on Friday night was perforated paper, which I've never stitched on it before, but we got some perforated paper, which was 14 count, which would be 28 count if you were doing over 2 on linen. We got the chart. This little envelope has some things that we're going to use with one of the other projects. And here's there was floss put on the table that you could pick your own colors. I'm almost out, but these are the colors that I picked. And this is the motif. And Vicki, this is from Needlework Press, Vicki said, if you want to get started on it, for those of you that finish before the end of the retreat, you're going to be very happy. Well, I've never stitched on paper, so let me give it a go. Let me get where I can show it. So I actually did finish Saturday night. I'll hold it up here. There it is. So finished that. So that was one of our projects. So had a finish there. I want to keep that handy. So that was Friday. And then before I go into Saturday, one of the fun things about a retreat is sharing different ideas with friends. And I think it was Mary Lou shared something with us, and I think all of us got right on Amazon and ordered right then. Now, my lamp, daylight lamp, I think it's daylight, that I've shown you before, I had seen, I think it was Brenda and Laura mentioned this, and it was a hard case for knitting needles. So I looked for it. Well, they don't make it anymore, so I got this soft case. It's for knitting needles. The problem is, the good thing is the lamp fits in here. The problem is you can't quite zip it up. So it's okay, but it's not great. So Mary Lou shared with us, and I will put this in the description. This is, and it even has a handle. This is a keyboard case. It is hard. And they're not expensive. I think it was somewhere around $19. We got it on Amazon. There's different kinds. I chose this one because I wanted the black outside and the gray inside. But when you open it up, look at that. Let me stand up so you can see it. The lamp fits perfectly. And then it's got the zippered area that you can put your battery pack, your cord. Look at that. Now, the ones they had a strap that held it in place, but they didn't have the gray inside. So I decided to go with this brand, but they were very similar otherwise. And then it just zips up, and there you go. So if you put it in your luggage, it's protected. And if you want to go to a class, you just get the handle. So I think all of us ended up ordering different colors, and mine came the day I got home, I think. So I wanted to share that with you. Now on Saturday, we had 2 different charts given to us. The first one was from Scarlett House, and in the introduction, I did put the picture of Tanya with the antique and a reproduction. But look at this. Look at that house. See if I can, I don't want to crinkle this, so I'll just show it. I think the whole room gasped when she showed this. And then we do have some linen. I think that's I can't remember what it's kitted with. It might be dirty teacup, I'm not sure. But we have the linen, and then the colors, 103s, are what's in here. So we've got all of that. I don't know if anybody started that while we were here, there. But that was exciting. And then in the afternoon, we had Vicki did a talk about these wonky little houses. Wonderful lecture. And this is the project that we got. You know what? I didn't tell you the name of this one. Manor House Sampler. Okay, that's Manor House Sampler. This is the one that Vicki has from Needlework Press. This is Hannah Phillips, 1826. So there's the antique, there's the reproduction, and the kit came in this wonderful little bag, and I'm not going to open it all up. I'll let you peek inside. It's got the St. Belsois. It's got some of the other colors that we need. There's some 103s down in there and the linen. So that was just such a cute presentation, and the sampler is gorgeous. So that was on Saturday. And then Saturday evening, I was sitting when we had a lovely dinner. The meals were wonderful. So I was sitting stitching because I was working on this, and I had everything done except I forgot the little bird. So I was sitting there, and George and I were sitting stitching, and several people had gone up already, but I wanted to finish the bird, so we were sitting and talking, and Georgia asked me, she said, I watched your last FlossTube, and you mentioned a Petoskey stone. What is that? So I want to show you in case you wondered what a Petoskey stone is from the last video. So every state, as far as I know, in the United States has a state bird, a state flower, a state rock or mineral or stone. And in Michigan, the state stone is the Petoskey stone. Now, it is only found, when you're from Michigan, you can show anybody where you live because there's the state. So if you look, this part of Michigan is Lake Michigan. This part of Michigan is where the Petoskey stones are found. They are fossilized coral. And what's fun, if you like searching for rocks, which we do in our family, when you are looking for a Petoskey stone, they're hiding in plain sight because they look just like a rock. It's like, great, that's a great state stone. But here's the secret. And I even brought a paper towel, a wet paper towel to show you. I have all kinds of props here. Well, what we do is we would walk along the shoreline and take a bucket, one of the kids' sand bucket, and throw it up where the rocks were. Because when you put water on them, when you wet them, and I'll show you one all polished too. This is what it looks like. See the fossil? It's like magic. Here's another one. Now this one shows up pretty good before it's wet. Now look at the other side. Not a little bit, but let me show you when you wet it. So it's just so pretty. And it's so much fun because you'll walk around and look for the Petoskey stones. Look at the coral. Isn't that gorgeous? So I have one here that is polished. I keep that on my desk. And then this one, I don't honestly remember where we got that. It may have been given to my parents. Oh, if I drop it, try to get it where the light isn't showing. Then I have this one that my dad actually polished. So he would sit there at night with just, I don't know if it was fine grit emery cloth, but he would polish it. So this fits in my hand perfectly, and that was something my dad did. So that means a lot because he spent hours polishing that. Then there's also something called a Charlevoix stone, which again just looks like a rock, but it is a fossil, and I'm going to wet it so you can see a totally different configuration. So you have to kind of look for these, and again that's going to be around Charlevoix, Traverse City, different places, but you can see it's a little smaller. So that's a Charlevoix stone. So we have several, and it's just fun. We go to some of the beaches that there aren't a lot of people, and maybe have to walk through the woods to get to. And if you're familiar with northern Michigan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There'll be paths that you can access, and it's open to the public, and you walk through the woods, and then there's the little bit of beach with the water, and that's where we do a lot of searching for our stones. But I wanted to show you what a Petoskey stone is. And this necklace actually is a stone as well, but this is called Leland Blue, and it's from Fishtown, or Leland, Michigan, right on Lake Michigan. And it is, I think, the byproduct of decades ago when they would, I think it was smelting metal, and the metal, the slag would be put in the water. Well, the water did whatever it did to it, and it came back as these stones. So I did purchase that in Leland. So then, go back to the retreat on Sunday. We had a wonderful lecture by Vicki about perforated paper. It was excellent. I did not know a lot about perforated paper. And she gave us this set of all these little ornaments, because we do have enough, I think, paper left over from our project that we can do that. And I think in here, well, there's for the backing, and there might even be in one of our other configurations. I was looking to see if there was any trim in here. I'm not sure. It might be in one of the other packages. So we did get that. And then here's what she said we would be really happy about if we finished our little project. And this is 6 by 6. They gave us a tray that says, "My life's a sampler with thanks from Tanya and Vicki, 2023. And here's the inside. And look, it fits perfectly. So that was fun. And I do want to show you, because this is going to fit perfectly. I had ordered some things from Needle in a Haystack that came yesterday. I thought, well, this is perfect, because I ordered this quite a while ago, and I said, just send it complete. So it took a while because we're waiting on the Swasserfine for Hannah Campbell, which I haven't really touched because I was waiting to do the over one. So here's my Hannah Campbell. And now, oh yay, I can start the over one, because they had all but one of the colors. I said, go ahead and send it, and then you can send all the rest of the order, and then you can send that one. So I can go ahead and get back to that and get going on the over one. I also, from them, if you're looking for Schoolhouse Red, I don't know if they still have some, but I did get some Gloriana Schoolhouse Red. And I was missing 2 colors for, and I'm sorry, I just call this James and the Giant Peach. I know it's not that, it's the Rose and the Giant Pear. But I think it was Julia, My friend Julia at Sampler Symposium kept saying James and the Giant Peach, and now I can't think of anything else. But the Rose and the Giant Pear, which I was missing 2 of the silks. So I did get that in my order from Needle in a Haystack, and I got one other thing from them, which is perfect. I ordered this tray because I didn't have a tray. Well, now I have 2 because I got one last weekend. But that's what the tray said. And you can order these from Needle in a Haystack. It can say different things. And take a look. It fits perfect. So I can swap back and forth. But these little trays are so handy to put things in when you're stitching, or if you're sitting at the couch or in a chair and you just want to have the things handy. So got that. Wow, I think we might be done. Let me just check my notes. We talked about Hobby House. We talked about the WIPS. I think we might be done. I had a wonderful time at Hobby House, and David and Kathy, excellent. They did such a good job. It top notch. The food was great. Everything was just wonderful. I enjoyed it so much. Now, I think Vicky posted a picture of people holding their tray. I think she did that on Instagram, holding their tray who finished. I should have been in that picture. I wasn't. You want to know why? Because just after Vicky finished her fabulous lecture on perforated paper, my phone had a text, buzzed, and I looked. My flight was canceled. And my flight was at 5 o'clock. And it was about 11 right then. So I had to get up and leave the room and go into the lobby to figure out what to do, because my flight, it was just canceled. It wasn't weather. It was, when I finally reached someone, they said they had canceled a lot of flights. I was changing planes in Baltimore. They had canceled a lot of flights because it was air traffic, too many planes in the air. I don't know if they didn't have the personnel, but the FAA canceled a ton of flights. And so I was on the phone with Southwest trying to rebook, and also with the rental car company, because I had a rental car, thinking I might have to drive home, which is 900 miles. So, long story short, I ended up driving home because Southwest had rebooked me, but it was still through Baltimore, and it added 2 more stops. I wasn't going to get to Nashville till 1 in the morning, and I thought, I have traveled enough over the decades of traveling to quilt shows and quilt guilds. I know the later the flight, the more likely the chance it's not happening, because flight crews are delayed or planes are delayed, weather problems, it just doesn't happen. And talking to the person on the phone, they were very helpful at Southwest. She said, yeah, I don't know. I said, all right, what do you have for Monday? Because I thought, well, I can spend the night and go home Monday. She said, we can't get you home Monday. So now they're looking at maybe Tuesday. I thought, well, I can take the chance and end up stuck somewhere Sunday night with no luggage, because the luggage never goes with you. It always goes somewhere else. Stuck somewhere with no car, no luggage, no idea when I was getting home, or I could drive home. So I opted to drive home. So when we left the retreat, I went over to Hobby House to pick up. I had ordered this and this online and said to pick it up. So I went over there and picked it up and jumped in my car, after texting my husband about all this, and drove halfway home and spent the night. I knew that I would only drive till dark or just before, and then I would stop at a hotel, and then drove the rest of the way home. So he picked me up at the rental car. Actually, it was a little closer. He was going to pick me up at the Nashville airport, which is an hour from our house, but I was able to return the car just 20 minutes from the house. So he picked me up Monday afternoon, So it worked out, and Southwest ended up refunding my portion of the flight I didn't use, so I could apply that to the extra day for the rental car. So it wasn't ideal, but it was a beautiful drive. I just had an audio book on my phone, and I just listened to that on the way home and thought about all of the fun that we had at my Life's a Sampler at the Hobby House, sponsored by Hobby House. It was fantastic. So I think that's it for FlossTube 20. Did you think that you'd get to see rocks? I just thought that was a great question that George had asked, and I thought, you know, I think other people might be curious about what in the world is a Petoskey stone, and it is fossilized coral that when you see it, it just looks like a rock, but once you put water on it, now there's the magic. And even, I always like when I see the ones that you can tell they're Petoskey stone without water on it, because then they're really gorgeous when water hits it. So I think that's it. I'm just looking around. I think I have covered everything. I plan on being back in 2 weeks. I have my book of days here. And you can tell it's getting well loved because I somehow set it in coffee. I don't know how I did that. It wasn't on the table. It wasn't in my bag. I don't know where I got it. But today is, what is today? That's August. We're in September. I think I pulled that so I could see the start. Today's the 15th. So I will be back, I think, in 2 weeks, because right after that, we're going to be gone. So I think I'll tape before we're gone. And when I went to Hobby House, I had thought about getting a video, but it was so crowded, and I just didn't want to be a bother trying to take a video in there. I know what I was going to tell you. David mentioned that they're moving, and I'm not sure when, but they're staying in the same area, but they're moving to a larger building. So I'm not sure how far from their original building, but it sounds like it's going to be a much bigger building, and I'm wondering if maybe they're going to combine all of their different shops in one. So that's exciting. So I guess they'll be talking about that as they get closer. I think they're just starting to work on the new area. But when I'm gone in a few weeks, we're going to be over in North Carolina, and I'm hoping I can make a stop to Annabelle's, because they've just opened their shop, because I've ordered from them online. But I'm looking forward to seeing their shop. So hopefully I can take a video there to show you. Here's my September. I have a few stickers on there, and it's well loved with the coffee stains. Oh well, it's real life. So that's it. I'm going to stop rambling now as I think of different things to tell you. And I want to thank you again for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed all this kind of random everything today, but it was a fantastic retreat. I'm still smiling about all the fun, all the laughter, all the hugs, just all the stitching. It was fantastic. So thank you very much, and I will see you in a couple weeks. I thought I would do this little bonus video so you can see behind the curtain what it looks like after a floss tube. Wait till we get around the corner. Everything is everywhere. Now, you see this pretty setup right here. But take a look at the floor. So as I'm talking, there's all this stuff all around. I'm gonna move my pillow through that over there. That's what I sit on when I stitch. So when I'm talking to you, I am sitting in this chair talking to the camera on that stand, and you can see Benji over there sleeping. But anyway, that's a little peek behind the curtain, and there's my rocks. See you next time.